As we bring all of these truths together, understand this: your future is not something that happens by accident. It is something you build with intention. Your mindset sets your direction. Your daily disciplines shape your results. Your courage in the face of fear expands your capacity. Your healing and forgiveness free your energy. And your willingness to take responsibility determines who you become. Nothing changes until you do. No breakthrough arrives without preparation. No next level opens without growth. The life you envision requires a stronger mindset, a steadier discipline, a braver heart, and a healed spirit. And all of that work begins within you. You cannot control every circumstance. You cannot predict every obstacle, but you can control your response. You can control your habits. You can control your commitment to growth. Each day you choose to think better, act better, and become better, you are shaping a future that reflects that decision. Do not underestimate the power of small improvements. Do not run from fear when it signals expansion. Do not carry old wounds into new opportunities. And never wait for someone else to build the life you are capable of creating. Your future is watching your present actions. Step into responsibility. Step into growth. Step into courage. And when you do, you will not just hope for a better tomorrow. You will be prepared to live it. You are responsible for becoming the person your future requires, because the life you desire demands a certain level of character, discipline, and maturity. Dreams are not fulfilled simply because you want them. Goals are not achieved simply because you write them down. The future you imagine requires growth in the present. It requires you to evolve intentionally. Many people focus only on what they want to have, the success, the stability, the influence, the impact. But fewer people focus on who they must become to handle those things. Greater opportunities demand greater responsibility. Bigger platforms demand stronger character. Deeper relationships demand emotional maturity. If you do not prepare yourself internally, external success can overwhelm you instead of elevate you. Responsibility begins with self-awareness. You must honestly assess where you are. What habits are holding you back? What fears are limiting your decisions? What excuses are keeping you comfortable? It is easy to blame circumstances, other people, or timing. Growth begins when you ask, what can I improve? What must I learn? Where must I stretch? Becoming the person your future requires means building discipline even when no one is watching. It means developing integrity so that your words and actions align. It means strengthening your mindset so that challenges do not easily shake you. It means cultivating patience so you can endure the process without giving up prematurely. The future you want may require better communication skills. It may require financial wisdom. It may require emotional control. It may require courage to lead. These qualities do not appear overnight. They are built intentionally through practice and repetition. Each day you choose growth over comfort. You are shaping your future identity. You cannot expect a confident future if you avoid situations that challenge your confidence today. You cannot expect financial stability if you refuse to manage your resources wisely now. You cannot expect healthy relationships if you do not work on your communication and emotional health. Your future is built through present preparation. Taking responsibility also means releasing the belief that someone else will create your life for you. Mentors can guide you. Supporters can encourage you. But no one can do your inner work. No one can build your habits. No one can make your decisions. That power belongs to you. Growth often feels uncomfortable because it requires change. It requires breaking old patterns and forming new ones. It requires humility to admit what you do not know and courage to learn it. It requires consistency when motivation fades. But discomfort is a sign of development. Each time you choose improvement over avoidance, you strengthen your capacity. There will be seasons when progress feels slow. You may question whether your effort is making a difference. In those moments, remember that transformation happens gradually. Just as a seed grows roots before it breaks through the surface, you are building strength beneath the visible results. Stay committed to the process. Becoming the person your future requires also involves protecting your values. Success without integrity is fragile. Achievement without character is unstable. As you grow, ensure that your principles grow with you. Who you are matters more than what you achieve. The future you desire is not random. It is connected to your present choices. Each habit you build, each skill you develop, each fear you confront, and each lesson you learn is shaping the person you are becoming. That person will either be prepared or unprepared for the opportunities ahead. Take ownership of your development. Invest in your mindset. Refine your discipline. Strengthen your resilience. Align your actions with your vision. You are not waiting for your future to arrive. You are building yourself to meet it. You are responsible for becoming the person capable of sustaining the life you dream about. When you embrace that responsibility fully, you move from wishing to working, from hoping to preparing, from imagining to becoming. And in that transformation, your future begins to recognize you as ready. Healing and forgiveness unlock your next level, because you cannot step into a higher version of yourself while carrying the weight of unresolved pain. Growth requires space, clarity, and emotional freedom. Heart is burdened by resentment, guilt, anger, or shame. Your energy becomes tied to the past. And when your energy is tied to the past, your future remains limited. Healing begins with honesty. It requires you to acknowledge what hurt you, what disappointed you, what broke your trust, and what shaped your fears. Many people try to skip this step. They distract themselves with business, relationships, achievements, or entertainment. But unaddressed wounds do not disappear. They quietly influence your decisions, your reactions, and your relationships. Healing asks you to slow down and face what you would rather avoid. Forgiveness is a crucial part of that process. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior or pretending something did not matter. It is about releasing yourself from the emotional prison of replaying it. When you hold on to bitterness, you give the past continued power over your present. Forgiveness cuts that cord. It allows you to move forward without dragging yesterday's pain into tomorrow's opportunities. There are different layers to forgiveness. Sometimes you must forgive others for what they did or failed to do. Other times you must forgive yourself for mistakes, poor decisions, or seasons when you did not know better. Self-forgiveness can be even harder than forgiving others. It requires compassion toward your imperfect humanity. It requires you to accept that growth includes missteps. Without healing, old ones resurface in new situations. A past betrayal can create distrust in a healthy relationship. A past failure can create fear of trying again. A harsh criticism from years ago can still silence your voice today. Healing interrupts those patterns. It helps you respond to present circumstances based on reality, not based on old pain. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation in every situation. It does not mean allowing someone back into your life if they continue to harm you. It simply means you are choosing peace over prolonged anger. You are choosing freedom over fixation. You are deciding that your emotional well-being matters more than holding on to resentment. When you heal, your perspective changes. You begin to see that even painful experiences taught you something. They strengthened your boundaries. They clarified your values. They revealed your resilience. This does not mean the pain was necessary, but it means it was not wasted. Healing allows you to extract wisdom instead of carrying wounds. Unlocking your next level requires emotional maturity. It requires understanding that growth is not only about new achievements, but about inner alignment. You cannot build confidence while secretly believing you are defined by your past mistakes. You cannot build healthy relationships while holding onto unresolved anger. You cannot build a purposeful future while constantly reliving old disappointments. Healing is not a one-time event. It is a process. Some days you will feel strong. Other days memories may resurface. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Continue choosing peace. Continue choosing understanding. Continue choosing growth. When you forgive, you create space for new experiences. You make room for joy, trust, and clarity. Your energy shifts from survival to intention. Instead of protecting yourself from every possible hurt, you begin building from a place of strength. Your next level requires a lighter heart. It requires emotional freedom. It requires the courage to let go of what you cannot change, and the wisdom to carry forward only what makes you stronger. Healing restores your balance. Forgiveness restores your power. Together they open doors that pain once kept closed. And when you walk through those doors, you realize that the greatest transformation was not external. It was internal. Fear is a sign of growth, not a signal to stop, because fear often appears at the edge of expansion. It shows up when you are about to step beyond what is familiar, beyond what is comfortable, beyond what feels safe. Many people interpret fear as a warning to retreat, but in reality, fear is frequently an invitation to evolve. It is the mind's response to uncertainty, and uncertainty is the birthplace of transformation. When you decide to pursue a bigger goal, fear whispers that you are not ready. When you consider speaking your truth, fear tells you that you might be judged. When you think about leaving a situation that no longer serves you, fear warns you about what you might lose. But what if fear is not there to stop you, but to strengthen you? What if it is proof that you are stretching beyond your current limits? Growth requires discomfort. There is no way to build strength without resistance. Muscles grow by being challenged. Skills improve by being practiced beyond ease. Character develops when tested. Fear is simply the emotional signal that you are entering a space where growth is possible. It does not mean you are incapable. It means you are expanding. Often, the things that scare you the most, things that hold the greatest potential for your life. Starting a new career, launching a business, ending an unhealthy relationship, setting boundaries, speaking in public, chasing a dream, these moments are wrapped in fear because they matter. They challenge your identity. They stretch your confidence. They require courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward despite fear. It is the willingness to feel uncomfortable and still take action. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you weaken its control over you. You prove to yourself that fear does not define your ability. You show yourself that discomfort is temporary, but regret can last much longer. Fear often magnifies worst-case scenarios. It creates stories about failure, rejection, embarrassment, and loss. But most of those stories never happen. And even when you do fail, failure becomes a lesson, not a life sentence. Growth is rarely graceful. Stakes, adjustments, and learning. Fear is part of that process. There is a difference between danger and fear. Danger is a real threat to your safety. Fear, in many cases, is simply your mind reacting to change. Learning to distinguish between the two is essential. If you allowed fear alone to guide your decisions, you would remain in familiar spaces forever. You would avoid risks, opportunities, and breakthroughs. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most. Perhaps it was when you moved to a new place, started something unfamiliar, or faced a challenge you did not think you could handle. Those moments likely came with fear, but they also came with strength you did not know you possessed. Growth revealed abilities that comfort never could. Fear can also be a compass. It can point directly toward what matters to you. If you feel fear about pursuing a dream, it may be because that dream is deeply meaningful. If you feel fear about speaking up, it may be because your voice has power. Instead of running from fear, ask what it is teaching you. Ask what opportunity is hidden behind it. Each time you confront fear with action, you expand your capacity. Once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once felt overwhelming becomes familiar. The first step is always the hardest, but with each step forward, fear shrinks. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal that you are standing at the threshold of something new. It is evidence that you are challenging your current limits. Instead of interpreting it as a stop sign, see it as a doorway. Walk through it. Trust that growth lives on the other side. Trust that you are stronger than your hesitation. And remember, the life you want often waits just beyond the fears you are willing to face. Small daily disciplines create massive long-term results because success is never built in one dramatic moment. It is built in quiet, consistent actions repeated over time. What you choose to do every single day. Even when no one is watching, even when you do not feel motivated, even when progress seems invisible, is shaping your future more than any single big opportunity ever could. Most people owe what they can accomplish in a week and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. They look for fast breakthroughs, instant transformations, overnight success. But the truth is, lasting growth is the result of steady commitment. It is waking up a little earlier to work on your goals. It is choosing to read instead of scroll. It is choosing to practice instead of procrastinate. It is choosing discipline over distraction. Daily disciplines may seem small in the moment: drinking enough water, exercising for 30 minutes, saving a little money, practicing a skill, speaking kindly, setting boundaries. These actions do not feel extraordinary. They do not come with applause. But when repeated consistently, they compound. And compounding is powerful. A single positive choice may not change your life, but hundreds of positive choices absolutely will. Think about the power of habits. Your habits shape your character, and your character shapes your destiny. If you build the habit of finishing what you start, you become reliable. If you build the habit of learning every day, you become knowledgeable. If you build the habit of gratitude, you become emotionally resilient. Over time, these qualities open doors that talent alone cannot open. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think discipline is punishment or restriction, but in reality, discipline is self-respect in action. It is the decision to honor your future self. When you choose to work on your goals instead of giving in to comfort, you are saying that your long-term vision matters more than short-term pleasure. That mindset builds confidence, and confidence built through action is unshakable. There will be days when you do not feel like showing up, days when progress feels slow, days when doubt creeps in. Those are the days that matter most, because discipline is not proven when you are motivated. It is proven when you are tired, distracted, or discouraged, and you choose to act anyway. Each time you keep your promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of lasting success. Small disciplines also protect you from chaos. When your mornings have structure, it's clearer. When your finances have a plan, your stress decreases. When your health has consistent care, your energy increases. Structure creates stability. Stability creates focus. Focus creates results. Long-term results are rarely dramatic at first. Growth is often invisible. A seed planted in the ground does not show immediate evidence of change, but beneath the surface, roots are forming. Strength is developing. Preparation is happening. Your daily disciplines are those roots. You may not see the full impact immediately, but transformation is taking place. Consistency also builds momentum. The more you repeat a positive behavior comes. What once required effort eventually becomes automatic, and once discipline becomes habit, progress accelerates. You are no longer forcing yourself to grow. You are simply living in alignment with your goals. It is important to remember that small, negative disciplines also compound. Skipping responsibilities, neglecting health, avoiding difficult conversations, making excuses. These patterns also create long-term results. That is why awareness is essential. Every choice matters. Every day counts. Massive long-term results are not accidents. They are earned through daily intention, through repetition, through patience, through faith in the process. When you commit to small, consistent improvements, you give yourself the greatest gift, sustainable success. Do not wait for motivation to change your life. Build discipline. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Use this moment. The small actions you take today are writing the story of your tomorrow. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Stay committed. And one day, you will look back and realize that the simple daily disciplines you once underestimated created the extraordinary life you now live. Your mindset determines your direction and your destiny, because the way you think shapes the way you see the world, and the way you see the world shapes the choices you make every single day. Before you ever take a step forward, your mind has already decided whether that step is possible. Before you ever speak a word, your thoughts have already formed the belief behind it. That belief becomes your attitude. Your attitude becomes your behavior, and your behavior becomes your results. If you believe that life is unfair and that success is reserved for other people, you will unconsciously move in a direction that confirms that belief. You will hesitate when opportunities appear. You will doubt yourself when challenges arise. You will interpret setbacks as proof that you are not capable. And slowly, without realizing it, your mindset will guide you toward a destiny that reflects limitation rather than potential. But if you choose to believe that growth is always available to you, that failure is feedback, and that obstacles are stepping stones, your direction begins to change. You start to see possibilities where others see problems. You begin to ask different questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of saying, I cannot do this, you ask, how can I learn to do this? That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. Your mindset influences how you respond to pressure. When difficulties come, and they will come, a fixed mindset says, this is too hard. I am not equipped for this. I should quit. A growth mindset says, this is stretching me. This is building me. This is preparing me. The direction in your life is often decided in those moments of discomfort. Do you shrink or do you expand? Do you retreat or do you rise? The thoughts you repeat become the beliefs you accept. The beliefs you accept become the standards you live by. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, your actions will align with that story. You will settle for less than you deserve. You will stay in environments that do not honor your value. You will avoid risks that could elevate your life. But if you begin to affirm that you are capable of learning, worthy of success, and strong enough to endure challenges, your standards rise. And when your standards rise, your direction shifts toward growth. Mindset also determines how you view time. Some people see time as an enemy, a reminder that they are behind. Others see time as an ally, an opportunity to improve little by little. When you believe that consistent effort compounds, you become patient with your progress. You understand that destiny is not built overnight. It is built through daily choices, through disciplined habits, through intentional thinking. Your environment may influence you, but your mindset interprets that environment. Two people can face the same circumstances, and one sees limitation while the other sees opportunity. The difference is not talent, not luck, not background, but perspective. Perspective directs action. Action produces results. Results shape destiny. You must guard your mind carefully because it is the control center of your life. What you allow into your thoughts will eventually show up in your reality. If you feed your mind with negativity, comparison, and fear, your direction will reflect insecurity and hesitation. If you feed your mind with wisdom, gratitude, and vision, your direction will reflect confidence and clarity. Every morning, you have the power to choose your mindset. You can choose to focus on what is missing. You can choose to focus on what is possible. You can choose to dwell on yesterday's mistakes, or you choose to build on today's opportunities. That choice, repeated consistently, becomes your path. Your destiny is not something that randomly appears. It is something you move toward step by step, thought by thought. Change your thinking, and you change your choices. Change your choices, and you change your direction. Change your direction, and you change your destiny. Life advice is not just something you hear, it is something you live. It is not noise in the background of your life, it is direction. And if you truly listen not just with your ears, but with your spirit, it can change your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. The truth is, every single one of us is one decision away from a different life. One belief away from a breakthrough, one moment of courage away from transformation. I know what it feels like to start with very little. I know what it feels like to doubt yourself, to question whether you are enough, to wonder if your dreams are too big for the circumstances you were born into. But here is what I discovered. Your beginning does not determine your destiny. Your mindset does. The story you tell yourself every morning when you wake up is shaping your tomorrow. If you wake up believing life is happening to you, you will move through the day as a victim. But if you wake up believing life is happening for you, every challenge becomes a teacher. Every setback becomes preparation. Every disappointment becomes redirection. That shift alone can change your future. You must understand that your future is not built in giant leaps. It is built in daily disciplines. It is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It is built when you choose growth over comfort, when you choose forgiveness over bitterness, when you choose responsibility over excuses. Those small choices compound. They shape your character, and your character shapes your destiny. There will be people who doubt you. There will be voices that try to define you. But you cannot allow external opinions to become internal limitations. The most powerful voice in your life must be your own. Speak to yourself with truth. Speak to yourself with vision. Speak to yourself with faith. And let me tell you something about fear. Fear will always show up when you are about to elevate. It will whisper that you are not ready. It will remind you of your past mistakes. It will try to keep you small. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else is more important. Your purpose is more important. Your growth is more important. Your future is more important. Life advice that changes your future is not complicated. It is simple, but it is not easy. It requires consistency. It requires emotional maturity. It requires you to look at yourself honestly and say, where am I holding myself back? Where am I playing small? Where am I refusing to heal? Because healing is part of building your future. You cannot carry yesterday's pain into tomorrow's promise and expect to rise. You must release what no longer serves you. You must forgive yourself. You must forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Your future is also shaped by the company you keep. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to think bigger, who speak life into your dreams, who hold you accountable to your highest self. Energy is contagious. Choose wisely. And finally, understand this. You are worthy of the life you dream about, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow. The world does not reward perfection. It rewards persistence. Keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep believing. Your future is not a mystery. It is a reflection of your daily choices. So choose courage, choose discipline, choose faith, choose yourself. Because one day you will look back and realize that the moment you decided to believe in your potential was the moment everything began to change. Now, here are 5 key notes to remember.